Now to our special edition, Wednesday edition of today's Money 911, a half an hour dedicated to fixing your finances. Before we get to our panel and your questions, we want to meet 4 women who've taken control of their own finances by enrolling in a class called Simply Money, run by a financial advisor, Galia Gishon, and New York Times financial columnist MP Donlevy.
You really want to look at your money on a very basic level in 2 ways, short-term and long-term.
From this class, I'd like to emerge with a couple of targeted savings plans. Definitely my savings / retirement have taken a considerable hit, which of course is distressing. As a woman, I find it incredibly empowering to have a lot more clarity about my finances, what comes in, what goes out.
What is your monthly income? Come up with that number.
I literally am afraid of money in a weird way. I've had a lot of problems paying my credit cards on time. A lot of women in our society don't have a good relationship with money. And so that's why I'm taking this class. I'm appalled at what my interest rate is on my credit card. And is anybody else like this? I had no idea. The specific goals I want to achieve by the end of this class are I want to have an IRA. The other is to have a working budget. Unfortunately, the word budget to me has always been kind of like the word diet, something that I really don't want to do at all.
Ideally, go to Morningstar.com and print up the report of your mutual fund.
I hope to learn more about investing in mutual funds.
I found out the stuff that I have my mutual funds in 3 stars. Should I be aiming for a 5-star?
Yes.
I am trying to learn how to save money so that I can move out of my house. I'm trying to save up so that when my car lease is up in January, I can buy my car.
I would like for Jackie to be able to take over some of the expenses that we now help her with, like her health insurance and her car lease, and for Jackie to be on her own.
We'll follow those women over the next few weeks to see if they reach their goals, and let's us help you reach yours. We've got Gene Chasky, he's today financial editor. We've got David Bach, he's a personal finance expert. And we've got Carmen Wong-Ulrich, who is a host and creator of CNBC's On the Money. And Maria's upstairs in our satellite studio taking video callers. Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
First question, let's get to it. Tim in Tennessee, he's got a question about interest-only loans. Tim, go.
Hello. About 2 years ago, my wife and I bought our first house, and we didn't realize that we had gotten into an interest-only loan. We don't know if it was explained to us or not. We still owe $125,000, and we're trying to get it refinanced, but we're having a hard time doing so. And we've noticed a lot of people with worse credit than us are getting all this financial help. We've got perfect credit, no credit card debt, and between the two of us, would make $60,000 a year. Is there any programs out there for people like us who are, not late on payments and everything, but we've been told we're high risk?
Smart question. Do you have a smart answer?
Very smart question, because so many people didn't understand what they were signing on the dotted line for. So, Tim, you are definitely not alone. The Making Home Affordable plan is where you want to look. As long as you don't owe more than 105% of the value of your home, and you've got a loan that's underwritten by Fannie Mae or Thank you. You should qualify. Go to HUD.gov and hook up with a HUD-certified housing counselor who can hold your hand as you go through the process. It may take a while, because we are hearing week after week from stories in the newspapers that this is just moving very, very slowly.
What kind of a while?
A while.
Like a month?
Months, and we are not seeing as many people move through the program as we would like to. The government is trying to get the wheels moving, so be persistent, be patient, get a counselor on your side, and go for it. You should qualify.
And it's worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thanks a lot, Tim, for your question. Thank you. We've got Maria upstairs with a Skype question. Maria?
Thanks, Sam. We have Eva from Jacksonville, Florida, with a question. Eva?
Yes, we are 3 years into a fixed rate mortgage with an interest rate of 6.625. At the end of 5 years, it converts into an ARM mortgage. We have excellent credit, have paid our mortgage payment on time. So my question is there anything out there that can help us refinance so we can take advantage of a lower interest rate without paying astronomical closing costs, which we cannot afford to do?
David, another mortgage question.
Astronomical closing costs. Okay, first first of all, the cost should not be astronomical. If you go back to your current lender and you say, look, I'm paying 6.65% right now, what's the rate on a 30-year mortgage? You're going to find out now, nationwide right now it's about 5.5%. Now, your current lender, provided you still have equity in your home and your home hasn't dropped a lot in value, should be able to refinance that loan actually very easily. The cost is going to be involved. There will be some cost because they have to do an appraisal, there's a title search, but it should be minimal. Minimal meaning maybe less than $1,000 to $1,500. Those fees can be wrapped into the refinance. So when they refinance your mortgage, they can actually put that cost into the mortgage. It'll be paid out over the 30 years. You won't have to come up with a check, and that makes it very easy. The easiest way to always refinance is to go back to your current lender. If your current lender won't do it, then go meet with a mortgage broker or go online and shop it.
Your current lender may even be able to do this in the form of a loan modification. I just did this like 2 weeks ago, moved from a 5.5% loan to a 4.5% loan, saved a bundle of money, and didn't have the sort of closing costs that we're talking about.
If it's less than 6 months. In her case, because it's 3 years.
No, mine was 5 years. I have had my mortgage.
That's because you changed on the Today Show.
No, the rules have not changed. It's just that if you're dealing with your current lender, they are playing around. They're flexible.
So what she's saying is because things have changed.
Yes, they have all the information.
That is really on your side. That the situation is not the situation 2 years ago, and they're going to do whatever they can to keep your business. Okay, that's a very good question. We've got another mortgage question from Shannon in Illinois. Shannon, go.
Good morning. My husband and I went in on April 1st of this year to refinance our home. We waited and waited and waited, and I kept calling to get status on where it sat. I got told that it was taking so long to get put in the computer because there were so many people applying for loans and so few people to put it in the computer. When we applied, the interest rate we were quoted was 5.25%. I got the paperwork last week, and now it says that the interest rate is 6.0%. And they said that changed because it took them so long to put it in the computer.
Carmen.
Yeah, definitely. Shannon, this happened to us about 5 years ago when my husband and I went to buy. We didn't lock in the rate. That's the key here, is that you need to lock in the rate that you've agreed on in the beginning. It's going to cost you a little extra, and Shannon's a little late for you, but that's the key here, is that in the past it wasn't necessary to really lock in the rates because rates weren't so volatile and they weren't so low. But with rates so low, it's about 1/8%, so 0.025% that you pay in addition over the life of your loan. But as you see, Shannon, I mean, you 1.2% you just lost, so the 0.025 wouldn't have cost too much. But the key here is that if rates are low enough, it makes sense to lock it in. However, it is a gamble. As rates go higher, then if you lock it in, rates could go lower again. But Shannon, it's a little too late, but do like I did. Call them up and negotiate with them and at least get half a point shaved off to 5.5.
Lots more questions to get to, so I'm going to stop you right there and tell you that when we come back, the question is, should you use your 401k to pay off your mortgage? The answer and more coming up after these messages. We're back with more of today's Money 911 with our panel of experts. We've got Jean Chatzky, we've got David Bach, and we've got Carmen Wong-Ulrich, and also Maria is upstairs taking questions from our video callers, and she's got the first question. Maria?
All right, thank you, Ann. We have Lindsay and Justin in Lynchburg, Virginia with us this morning. What's your question, guys?
Good morning. My husband and I have a combined student loan debt of $65,000. We do not have any credit card debt, just purchased our first home, have 5 months of living expenses set aside, and are putting away for our retirement. We will be receiving a $7,000 sign-on bonus from the Navy, as Justin is a reserve naval chaplain. We will also be receiving our $8,000 tax credit next year for purchasing our first home. My question is this: what is the best way to pay off our money? Do we pay off our smaller student loan totaling about $13,000 and use that payment towards the larger loan? Or do we pay down the largest loan? Both loans are federal student loans with low interest rates, the highest being a fixed 6%.
Jean, how should they handle paying off their student loans?
You want to pay off the one with the highest interest rate first. Doesn't matter which one's bigger, which one's smaller. The one that has the highest interest rate is costing you the most money. And you also want to take a little bit of that cash and boost your emergency cushion so that it's at least 6 to 9 months rather than just 5.
We have a lot of questions, and we're not going to get to all of them. Let's take care of our military question. We've got a phone question from Dawn in Clarksville, Tennessee. She's got a question about the GI Bill. Go.
Yeah, good morning. Starting in August, my husband can transfer his money Montgomery GI Bill to the new post 9/11 GI Bill. I am currently a senior in college, and upon graduation, I'm going to go straight for my MBA, and I'll be obtaining some student loans along the way. We have a daughter who actually turns 5 tomorrow, and since my husband is active duty now and will most likely be active duty upon our daughter's acceptance to college, neither of us will get the BAH payment in addition to the monthly payments of tuition. So I was wondering who the 18 months should be transferred to, myself, our daughter, or to both of us.
You want to actually transfer those to your daughter because you're not going to qualify either because you're receiving the education benefits at this point. She's talking about a housing allowance. And check into it because it's typically a 36-month benefit rather than just an 18-month benefit, so you may be eligible for more than you think.
We have another viewer, Catherine, in Miami, Florida, with a question on the phone. She's also, it's a question related to the military. Go, Catherine.
Renting a house. He's in the military, and we're stationed here in Miami for another 3 years. After that, we can be sent to wherever. We're renting, and our monthly rent is about $2,000, and that's fine when I was, teaching as well. But now I'm not, and I'm pregnant, so I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. So now we have one income, and we have either two options: one to find a house with a lower rent, or to buy a house with this, market. We don't know which one is better to do right now. But we don't know if it makes sense to buy a house even though we're leaving Miami in 3 years.
Good question, David.
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's interesting because I was at the Pentagon yesterday actually doing 2 speeches exactly on this topic. So let me tell you what I told the people at the Pentagon, and I will tell you. You have enormous advantages because you're in the military. You're able to get what's called a VA loan. So you can actually buy a home down in Miami right now with really no money down. And the rates are extremely low right now on VA loans. The second good thing you have going in Miami right now is that real estate prices are actually down nearly 50%. So you're not buying a property in Miami at the high. So I think you've got 2 green lights, VA loans, and you've got the ability to go out and buy property right now at a discount. And the third thing you've got, which in the military is very rare, is you're being stationed for 3 years. The interesting thing, Ann, about in the military is that 1 out of 4 people in the military move every single year compared to civilians that move 1 out of 12 people move. So the fact that you've got a 3-year commitment right now is a great opportunity for you to buy a home. I think you should look into doing that.
But you don't have to buy a home. I know home ownership is part of the American dream, but please don't feel pressure to buy a home because even though you're not going to be paying anything for interest, watch out. There are other costs with owning a home. If you're going to be somewhere for 3 years, rent. It makes sense.
Carmen? David, Jean, thank you, all 3 of you this morning. And if we didn't get to your questions, we will continue to talk to you and make sure we get your questions later. We've got much more to get to, but first I want to mention that you can catch more from Carmen on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC's On the Money. And if you have another financial question, go to todayshow.com.